So Chiron in the second house in some way is synonymous to having a Chiron Taurus, except that this is the Chiron Taurus is a generational issue and less specific and personal to you. Whereas having Chiron in the second is so largely about being unsure and being uncertain about what you truly value. So there's been some sort of uncertainty or some wounding that has given rise to uncertainty around whether what we our the styles that we prefer, the things we like to own and have, the way we like to present ourselves to the world. There's uncertainty around it, and unsure on a validation level whether people are liking this about us, or whether we're using all these things as a compensation for not really aligning and allowing ourselves to value our own values and our own worth. So it all comes down to some sort of there's an inner intangible level of worth and of security, and then with this translate to literal elements of security. So excuse me. So our where we live and how we dress and the cars we drive and how much money we're concerned about obtaining, or there's this thought around if we're worthwhile, we deserve more money, or if I don't have money, then am I even worthy? And this is all ultimately nonsense. In my opinion, it is absolutely nonsense. Yes, you can, if you feel enough worth, you are more than welcome to allow money in, but the money itself does not equate with you being of value. You are born with inherent value, you are a human, and you have capacities and skill sets there that you can apply. And it's believing in that part of yourself. But on the flip side, just because you have money doesn't mean you're necessarily utilizing these potentials within you. It just means that you've activated your ability to, you don't go the other way around, and you've got issues around allowing things to come through as a measure of worth. So yeah, they're not synonymous always. And this is the same with our physical appearance. There tends to be not always, because it can be definitely more of our other things that we have, but our physical body, whether there's issues around food, and that's restrictions around food to look a certain way, and again how we present ourselves, whether it's around, and that's also anywhere from wanting to look a certain way, and that's both thinness, wanting to be muscular, whatever society values instead of what you truly value. Also, this can be issues around whether we deserve food and we deserve to have nice things, or things that are pleasurable, if there's wounding there, or a sense of our value is lacking. Therefore, do we even deserve these things? Do we deserve to take care of ourselves and to look nice and to feed ourselves well and nourish ourselves? So this is how I'm brainstorming here and sharing the multitude of ways that a second house Chiron can manifest in real life. And it's just the crux of this is basically that if we don't align with what we truly value, if we don't see our inherent value as a human being, which needs to be present in order to feel that unconditional love from a part of ourselves to our full sense of self, with that we can actually tap into all our capacities which extend our worth and our value. We have these things, and that we can definitely develop these things more so, but they're inherently there. And with that, we can not only have perceived competence, and we can see that we can become more resourceful for others, and then maybe we might add those things to our measure of worth, but know that these are extensions from primarily having a sense of self-belief and valuing ourselves enough. So in astrology, many people might just equate it simply as the second house is to do with possessions and values and worth, but looking as to how and why these things are the case. And with a Chiron there, acknowledging that this wounding may be ancestral, maybe your family have this in their own patterning, in your parents or grandparents or whoever. There's some ingrained patterning around worth and what that means, and this might be different for you. So you need, if you're having issues around worth, figure out what is causing those blockages, and that usually involves a reassessing of why we have the views on the certain values that we do, especially if it doesn't feel right. If you have a sense of your physical self is not enough, not only is it enough, and you are enough, but if there's something that you feel like you can't change, and maybe you can optimize to its maximum potential, but you can't change, there are always things in life that you can build competence towards and expand your skills. And so call it compensation, call it some sort of thriving, it doesn't matter. It's knowing that there are a number of things that we can expand in order to add to our value that aren't based on the one thing that we lack. And Chiron so much is a focus on that which we lack or have a continual issue with. So be aware of that, and in time you might help others, and most likely will, with a focus and emphasis on your own limitations, be able to allow people to access their own worth and add to their sense of value. And this is what really can give back to society. Really, people tapping into their own strengths, as we all have strengths, but we need to tap into them, and we need to utilize them. And the second house to me is so much about this. So any questions, as always, just drop me a line and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. So thank you.